Good morning and welcome to my left ear. It is Tuesday, July 16th, and this is video 207. I'm doing more videos now that we're into election season. Petey is joining us again. So happy about that. I think he's settling in. This is Petey Freeman. I think he's like almost completely Maine Coon, and he's 21, 22 pounds. He's a big boy, and he likes to listen. So he's just gonna sit here and listen. This is a liberal channel. Don't want you to be misled in any way. And it's called My Left Ear because I get information and guidance through my left ear. Images, messages, predictions, blah, blah, blah. So I wanna get started right away without a long intro. And as I mentioned a week ago or so, I'm really devoting the summer to using this platform to get Joe Biden reelected. This is my main gig with my left ear right now. So as I did the other day, I want you to bring up the vision of the minute it is announced that Joe Biden has won re-election. Just get a surge of dopamine and serotonin and good hormones, and then bring it up a lot, because that energy is manifestation. All right, now we're gonna get on with it. I wanna say something about how does Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and others campaign for Joe Biden after this attempted assassination on Donald Trump. What does he do? Well, I figured it out. And I bet you others have figured it out too. I don't think I'm the only one. But they can bypass this attempted assassination and just focus on Project 25. And they don't even have to say Trump's name. They can just focus on the horror of Project 25 coming into fruition, not Trump. And you should look up the Cliff Notes for Project 25, because it's very upsetting. It's very anti-women. And I will do a show where I pick out the highlights of the worst of Project 25. But it's gonna get worse and worse for women. It's gonna get better and better for rich white men. And it's really, I'm not kidding, a nightmare. So I'll get into that. But Project 25 is actually a gift for the Democratic win. And many say that J.D. Vance is a gift to Joe Biden. J.D. Vance, now the new VP nominated person for Donald Trump. That is disgusting. He's disgusting. All right. Regarding the assassination attempt, I want to honor the fireman who was shot and killed, shielding his daughters and his wife. His name was Corey Comparator. I had to look at it for a minute, make sure I said it correctly. Corey Comparator was an avid Trump supporter. He was very excited to be at the rally to bring his family and his daughters, and he died protecting his family. And I think one of his neighbors or somebody, I'm quoting them, they said, Corey was a girl dad. Corey was a firefighter. Corey went to church every Sunday. He loved his community. Most especially, Corey loved his family. I did not talk about him the other day. I apologize if that offended a few people, which it did. And just want you to know that Joe Biden personally called Mrs. Comparator and she did refuse to take the call from President Biden. So it gives one a sense of the divide and the resentments, and that she didn't say anything to this end, but that there's still people that might think somehow, Joe Biden is involved, which we know he's not. We know, but she wouldn't take the call. Anyway, then the two attendees that are in the hospital in critical condition, this is as of the 14th, their identities are not known. So we have no information right now. I assume that they are still in the hospital. All right. Now, in regard to this attempted assassination, I saw a professional military sniper talking on a YouTube channel, and this was his lifelong thing. I mean, being a sniper. So he said that the roof in Butler, Pennsylvania was the most obvious place to sweep and place a professional, but it didn't happen. He feels certain the shooter had help, outside help of some kind. I'm just speaking about this military sniper. He thinks it's obvious. He said it's obvious that it was strategically planned. I'm not saying that I think that. I'm sharing with you what this professional sniper said. He said that it was amazing that this sniper was able to get in there and onto the roof at a presidential event. He said this was either planned or it had to do with tremendous negligence. So I'm just sharing this with you. A few words about, I asked a few rune questions. The last rune question is pretty fabulous. So hang in for that one. And this is not a long video today. This is about J.D. Vance. I call him the hillbilly with blue eyeliner. You know, he wrote this best-selling book, Hillbilly Elegy. It was made into a movie for TV. Amy Adams was in it, and I can't think of I didn't write it down. It was very poor, you know, white trash environment, alcohol, drugs, very dark. Now, I am told he didn't grow up in this. He wrote about it, but I don't know that for sure. That he actually grew up in a different environment, but I can't say that for sure, okay? And I had like a comical take on J.D. Vance yesterday that I'm just going to share. If anybody has seen the famous movie called All About Eve with Bette Davis and Ann Baxter, it's a classic. It's a fantastic movie. And Eve was the character that came in and upended Bette Davis's life, and she really was a snake, and she was waiting for her chance in the wings, and by the end of the movie, she was not an innocent. So I was thinking about J.D. Vance, like he's our All About Eve for this election. So I asked the runes, will J.D. Vance be a good VP choice? And this is what I got. The first rune I got was the self, the rune about the self. And I got it in the reversed position. And it says, perhaps you're at a time when you need to reconsider your situation. It is difficult to find one's place in the world. If you are blocked, this rune urges you to begin by being clear with yourself. JD, be clear with yourself. Now, I'm going to halt here. I don't know if you know this, but he has a whole history of saying terrible things about Donald Trump. Things that you and I are saying now, you know, that just, I'll go on and on and on, but there's so much footage and it will be played. You will see it. So it says, because I think deep down, he's so ambitious, but he kind of knows this could be a big mistake for his life. It says, if you are blocked, This rune urges you to begin by being clear with yourself, JD. Do not turn to others, but look inside, in silence, for the enemy of your progress. And JD is his own enemy. He can't adjust, he can't pivot. So no matter what area of your life may be in disarray, consider it. You may recognize the outer enemy as but a reflection coming from within you. And it may indicate a rocky path for you at the present. Okay, so that's the first, that's the self reversed. Then I got the rune Stand Still, which is the darkest rune. Stand still. You can see it's just standing there. It's not the only time I've gotten it either. So stand still represents the property of ice. The winter of your spiritual life is upon you, JD Vance. You may find yourself entangled in a situation whose implications you are, in effect, blind. You may feel powerless to do anything except submit, surrender, even sacrifice some long cherished desire. So he said yes to something that I think is not going to serve him. And I think there's going to things that are going to emerge that Donald isn't going to like. But I tell you what, I can't verify this, but I heard that Donald just sort of picked him without a lot of thought or research, just picked him. And ICE says positive accomplishment is unlikely right now. There is a freeze on useful activity. Your plans are on hold. You may have to submit to being controlled. Be prepared to spend some time waiting, JD Vance, and don't depend on others right now. People don't like you. Then I got, the last rune I got was signals reversed, meaning missing the signals. Regarding the past or the present, you may be concerned over what appears to be failed communication. And I'll tell you what, he's going to find that out very soon. He's probably riding high right now. We're in the Republican National Convention. And so he's getting lots of dopamine and he's getting applauded and he's accepting this new position. But it says you may feel inhibited from accepting what is offered. Now, I think that's a deep place in him. A sense of futility may overwhelm you eventually. I think when he finds out what he's gotten himself into, he has no real voice. Nobody would have a voice being Donald Trump's VP. And then the signals reversed says to JD Vance, consider the use of adversity. Not good. Not a good choice. All right. Then as I was preparing this outline, we're coming to the end, I just said, I'm just going to, sometimes I get the best readings when I just, out of the blue, just ask a question. So that's what I did. I asked the question, will Trump win the election? Will the guy sleeping at his own Republican convention yesterday, I mean, it's on my community page. I got a picture of him sleeping at the Republican National Convention like he did at his trial. It's unbelievable, but look in my community section. All right, so will Trump win the election? Guess what I got? I got stand still. Stand still. The coldest, chilliest rune in the group, stand still. So I didn't pick any more. That told me everything. It was the first one. Again, let me remind you, represents the property of ice. The winter of your spiritual life, Donald, is upon you. Donald, you may find yourself entangled in a situation to whose implications you are, in effect, blind. Perhaps that refers to his dementia. You may feel powerless to do anything except submit, surrender, even sacrifice some long-cherished desire. And it adds, positive accomplishment is unlikely right now. There is a freeze on useful activity and all your plans are on hold. And we don't even know yet whether the January 6th evidentiary committee is going to be assembled before the election. That's Judge Chutkan's case now. But I'm addressing that on my next reading, which will be in a day or two, all right? We don't know. So now we're getting to quotes, and I just found such a good quote this morning for us. It's by a woman named Hannah Arendt, A-R-E-N-D-T. And she wrote a number of books. This quote is from her book, The Origins of Totalitarianism. All right, I'm just going to tell you about her before I give you the quote. She lived from 1906 to 1975. She was one of the most influential political philosophers of the 20th century. Born in Germany, German Jewish family. She was forced to leave Germany in 1933 and lived in Paris for the next 8 years, working for a number of Jewish refugee organizations. In 1941, she immigrated to the United States and soon became a part of the lively intellectual circles in New York. This is her quote: "Before mass leaders seize the power to fit reality to their lies, their propaganda is marked by its extreme contempt for facts as such. For in their opinion, fact depends entirely on the power of the man who can fabricate it." My goodness, I never saw that quote before this morning. I went hunting. What a quote, okay? What a quote. And then my good evidence for the day, and there's new people here, there's new people watching, traveling through, a lot of new people. I refer to things as good evidence, as anything that you yourself do or create or you receive that lights you up. It's that simple. It happens, it lights you up, it makes you feel good, and it's good evidence. So here's the good evidence for the day, and it's not personal. J.D. Vance is the VP candidate for Trump. That's the good news. So if you listen to Elizabeth Cronice McLaughlin, she'll tell you the same. She's an educated attorney and as smart as they come. So that's it for today. And there'll be more. Like I told you, I'm coming back and I'm doing more. My whole thing is to get Joe Biden reelected. So let's all of us join together to make that happen. I must be doing well because I'm beginning to get some bots and little nasty little messages that I've never gotten before. And actually I think, wow, I'm getting to people. That's not a bad thing. So here's the beautiful Petey Freeman. Yeah, did you hear him? He just said something. He said, yeah, what do you want? You're waking me up, Mom. But I want everybody to see you. Anyway, he is mellow, he is sweet. And if you came here, he'd be so happy because he loves people. He's really friendly. There you are, the handsome guy. Oh, talk to him like that all day long. Okay, my friends, I'll see you in the next day or two. And just think about that last rune that I pulled. Will Trump win the election? And he got, stand still. The winter of your spiritual life is upon you, Donald Trump. Okay, peace and blessings. Go out and do something nice for someone or yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.